I'm now absolutely delighted to be joined by Eva Tardos. Eva, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for taking the time to talk to us today. Give us a little bit of background, if you will, before we get into the theme of your lecture. How long have you been working on game theory, and what sort of work have you been carrying out?
So I got interested in game theory around 2000, 99, 2000. It was in large part motivated by a change in how computers work. Classically, a computer is a device that people commission to take care of certain tasks. But right around that 99, 2000, the growth of the internet, it became a device that we use to collaborate, and the machines collaborate all the time. And game theory seemed like the ideal mathematical model to understand how this cooperation works. And what I was most interested in is when I model people's behavior via game theory, and all participants selfishly optimize for themselves, they at times don't optimize social welfare. If we only could centrally optimize for them, it could be that every single one of them is better off.
One of the things I know you were talking about in your lecture yesterday was how this changes when it's a dynamic game. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So that's a great point. Classical game theory tries to think of Nash equilibria. That's this so-called solution concept. So the assumption is that when people get together, they play a game, they land in a Nash equilibrium. Maybe that's true for some class of games, but in this, what I call dynamic games, the participants, the players change all the time. If you think of traffic routing, for example, on the internet, then the traffic is of little packets. And sometimes some website is popular and people download from that website, and just a day later some other website becomes popular and people download from this other website. So it's not a stable kind of pattern. And actually players are not fully well informed of what exactly who are they playing and what's going on in this game.
Is there a difference then between the effect of, if as you said earlier, in a classic game, if people are acting their own self-interest, that's not in the interest of the whole society. But is there a difference when it's a dynamic game?
That part, I don't think there is a difference. If you think of what a router does or what your computer does when you're trying to download something, it's trying to do its best to optimize your personal experience. If you're a car driver and you're driving someplace, you're still going to optimize your own personal experience. What changed is that with a dynamic situation and uncertain surrounding, I think it's better to model the players as learners, assuming they're using some sort of, maybe a machine learning algorithm if they're a computer, or maybe just some sort of human learning method to figure out what's the best answer. We don't know it, and the answer isn't stable, so we constantly have to learn and adapt to the changing circumstances. So what we changed in our recent work is modeling players not as all-knowing people who found the Nash equilibrium, but rather players who use some sort of learning algorithm to figure out how to respond. But they're still optimizing their own selfish good.
Finally, yeah, it's great you won an award as well this week, didn't you? Tell us about that.
It's great to be recognized. It's great to have an opportunity to talk about my work. My interest in work spans multiple communities. My appointment is in a computer science department, but my PhD and background is in mathematics, and it's really great to be recognized also by the applied mathematics community.
Well, great, and thank you ever so much indeed for talking to us today. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.